Welcome back to the channel. We are getting down to the wire on getting this truck finished. Quite literally, right? Because I gotta wire stuff up. But I have some news for you, and it ain't good news. Hold on, I gotta squeeze past the bike. It ain't good news. Take a look at this. We're leaking transmission fluid. Would you believe that? I know, I'm a little bit upset too. So it's coming out of the shift linkage, comes off of the transmission for the shifter. It's dripping off of that. So I don't know if the shift linkage has a bad seal that's coming out of the side of it, or if it's coming from above that. I don't know, but it's only a couple drips. It's leaking pretty good, actually. I'm lying to you guys. It's not good. So we gotta fix that, but not a concern. We're gonna get straight to putting the coils in on the back of the truck. All right, so in the last video, I ended up lying to you folks. I told you those coils came out of the F100. They did not. They came out of like a 99 2000s F150. So I redid my numbers based off of Google, at least. Not the best, but what I could do. And I basically established that those coils are designed to hold roughly 3,500 pounds, give or take a little bit. So I'm thinking if I put those two coils in on the inner sides of the big coils on each side, go up to the frame, then in theory, when I put a heavier vehicle, like let's say the Jeep again, on the back of the truck, it should be able to hold that weight because it's designed, those coils are designed to hold basically 3,500 pounds, give or take. That's kind of my theory. I'm not sure how accurate I am on that, but logically it makes sense. I don't got to worry about shocks because I have coilovers and I have massive 3.0 bypasses. So shock part's good. It's just simply mounting the coil, getting it in the truck, and making it accessible to pull in and out. So if we go run a call and we don't, en route, we don't need to have coils in, helper coils, because we're just standalone. But then if we're pulling out, like let's say a Dodge Ram or something, then I need to throw in the helpers to then help the weight. So here's the theory. We have coil. I can pretty much cut this down anywhere I have to. I'll just cut it flat. But basically, coil is gonna go here. So bracket off the floor, off the axle to the bottom of the frame, and then bracket to the frame. And then we bolt the coil to the axle. So that way, in the event the axle articulates and it de-weights off of one side, I don't lose the coil, nor do I stretch it too much or whatnot, because these 16s will stretch way more than those puppies will, 100%. So I don't want to stretch these guys out in the process or lose flex because of it. But I'm thinking if we put them in like that, then I can make a bracket where I can just bolt them down, put a big nut on it and a washer and just boop, holds it in place. And then on the top, we'll have a plate, like a big wide plate to basically kind of cup the top of the coil. So that way it has like a spot to go into, because it'll pretty much go the same way when it comes. If this flexes out, goes down, when it comes back to meeting the frame, it'll pretty much be in the same spot in my head. So I should be able to just make a plate that it can kind of like plop up into and have some room to move around but still be solid. And of course it's bolted at the bottom, so it's not gonna fall off. And then, yeah, then we unbolt it, take them out. And for storage purposes, which I have left open so I can show you guys, the idea is to throw those coils for storage in the engine bay. So where the heater box was, I'll make a bracket where we can just slap them in there and they'll just like kind of like mount in or slide in and just sit. So you don't see them on the truck. They're not on the outside looking ugly. They're just kind of tucked away until we need them. That's the theory. We're gonna get into cutting and grinding and welding and all the stuff that you've seen for the last 11 videos, and you're probably over it. Me too. We're almost there though, almost there. All right, so we have some bolts welded to a plate, and this bolt is designed to go into the bottom of the spring, and it will basically act as like the mounting pad. And then I'm gonna cut out a second plate as basically like a washer for the bolt, very large washer. But I need to make risers for the springs because it's hitting the 4-link like bracket that I put on the rear axle on past driver's side. So I got to pick the spring up like 3 inches or probably like 2 inches realistically. But anyhow, let me show you what we got going on here. If you remember in episode, oh gosh, I'm gonna say 3, but I'll put the correction up here on the screen. I am having hole saw problems. When I was hole sawing, what was it? Ooh, I was hole sawing the boom, the 2-inch holes for the boom. Yeah, that sucked. Now we're gonna hole saw another piece of pipe, which is 1/4-inch pipe with a 4-inch hole saw, so that way it can wrap around the axle. I don't know how well this is gonna go. We're about to find out. I'm hoping it goes well. Probably not. That lasted about, I think that lasted about maybe 1 minute. Hole saw is cooked. Didn't even make it through the frickin' thing. Golly! Look at that. Didn't even make it through the top layer. That just scratched it. Like, didn't even do anything. Hole saw, fried. So we have the plates in. I ended up just cutting those by hand. Kind of sucked. You can see it right over there. Bada bing, bada boom. So, as per usual, because I am a man of many poor decisions, I have chosen the skinniest piece of stainless steel exhaust tubing I have to hold my truck up. I don't think the GVW, the GVW, the gross weight rating of the cherry picker is 2 ton. I'm sorry, not 2 ton. 1 ton. What am I saying? 2 ton. We could use a cherry picker, but we're not. We're doing it the sketchy way instead. So the idea here is that I'll be able to just slide these in when, like, I won't have to jack the truck up. I'm just doing it for time being. So both springs are in and they're looking good. So what I have here is a 200 amp alternator. That's a thick boy. And we got to get this guy mounted so that we can then wire up the batteries and then wire up the winches and then make this truck do what it's been designed to do. Now, just like everything on this truck, this is gonna go somewhere that it's not designed to go. And because of that, I have to do some modifications. And because of that, my life can't be easy. So I'm gonna show you where this is gonna go, and then I'll show you why this sucks. So first and foremost, we're looking at this hole right here. This is the mounting hole. So that's the one that we're gonna be referring to. So here's the deal. We're gonna go off of this pulley right here. So if you can kind of see, there's a belt on this one, right here, right? This pulley has no belt on it. It's just an extra pulley. So we're gonna go off of that one so we don't have to build a tensioner pulley or an idler pulley. The issue is that that hole that I showed you guys is gonna mount right here off of this guy. Okay, there's a little bit of a thread right there. All right. Problem is that the threads that go into that part of the motor are too small for the bolt that is designed to go in the bracket that I showed you on the alternator. So I figure we'll just drill it out and then we'll tap new threads and we'll put a new bolt into it. It's the easiest thing to do, right? Here's the problem. This is a big problem, okay? The drill bit that is required to do such a job is too long, and I can't get the drill in here because if I go into it, I'm now in the hole, but my drill is on the deal here, on the radiator. You see that, folks? Not gonna work. So the correct plan of action would be to remove the radiator, then drill the hole out, and then tap and thread the hole and then put the radiator back in. I'm not gonna do that. Instead, I'm gonna just cut the drill bit shorter, and that way it'll fit. Very wrong choice, but it's gonna work. 2 pieces. Definitely should not have done this. But the good news is there's no good news. As long as it goes into here, oh my gosh. No way, come on. There she is. Perfect. Don't listen to me ever, folks. This is the wrong option for the right problems. Oh, and the battery died. What do you know? So, as per usual, got this guy. Wrong tool for the right job. I couldn't get a normal tap head in here, so we're using an Allen key and a box end to make this work. And for cutting fluid, you never guess it, but if for cutting fluid we're using WD-40. Breaking all the rules right now. So here you have it. New hole, new bolt, and the bolt goes in nice and easy. Threads have been cut. I got some updates for you guys. First of all, I got a stash going on. It's been a little while since I last talked to you. Most importantly though, look at this. This guy goes right here. Kind of. So I gotta sand. So I welded bungs here, bung here, bung here. So that way I can throw a bolt in as kind of like a set screw to just hold the aluminum guys in. And it's hitting on the, just the inner lip right here. So I gotta sand that down so this can slide all the way in. But we have 2 of them. The other one's right here. Look at these puppies. All right, update. Trying to sand those down is not working. So we're gonna do the wrong thing here and we're just gonna beat them in. Because I don't really feel like, yeah, we're just gonna beat them in. They're going in no problem. Ooh, that got hard. Uh-oh. I'm thinking I'm probably not gonna need the set screw. I don't think that's coming out anytime soon. Oh my gosh. Oh my. Remember how I was just saying, here's a little bit of a lip? Take a look at this. Aluminum has pulled up and has come out the set screw. That's what it's supposed to look like. We have aluminum shavings coming out of it. Once again, folks, this is the wrong way. This is the wrong way to do the right job. Well, that's as far as I could get it in. So we're like a 1/16 off, but that's okay. Not a big deal. I did damage it a little bit, like right here and up here. So not down here though, thankfully. So that sucks a little bit. It's still smooth though, but just a bummer. But I was destroying that mallet. We got mallet, pieces of it all over. Look at this thing. Broke the head off completely on this side. Broke it almost in half. This thing was probably anyway old anyways, but that mallet is done. It's all over the floor now. And I've damaged that. I'm guessing those metal pieces right there are probably what dented the aluminum. So that's annoying, but as you guys saw, the struggle to get them in means I really don't need the set screws. I thought I would. I thought they'd fit a little bit better, but they do not. So probably not using set screws. The alternator is free floating. Look at that. So I've got 2 brackets on this side that are holding it currently. And then on this side over here, I've got to build like a swing bracket. So I'm going to go off of this bolt here, and there's another bolt possible here, possibly off the power steering bracket. But this part's going to swing because it's going to go from this pulley and it's going to go to that pulley right there. So it's kind of in line, you can see it. It's close enough for me. Check this guy out. So I have a bracket made for the swing side. So this is a fixed side, this is the part that swings. We drilled this out a little bit bigger and we have a bolt on there now. So if you're wondering how I did that, how I got that bracket made, well, I'm glad you asked. Let me show you. So from here to here is a 7-inch CLR, straight line. So this is the pivot point right here. This is a fixed mount. It pivots off of this line. This part moves. They're 7 inches apart. So you have to have a 7-inch CLR, right? So the way you get that is you drill a hole, put it at 1, and then you come out and you go to 7. So the center dot, or dot 1, is 7, and then the 2 dots are the outside of the inner cut, so where I actually cut right there. So this line and that line are the 2 dots, and then the 3 dots, the ones that have the 3s, are the outside of the part. Now you can tell there's a lot less material here than here, and that is because it had to wrap around the body of the alternator. So I did grind that down a lot more, but originally I cut it at this right here, like this size was that. But yeah, so basically what you do is you make all your marks that you want, and then you take and you punch like a center punch on the table, and then you take your center punch, let's just say this is a center punch, and you put the center punch inside of the hole, the main one, and then you swing each one across the part, and it will pivot, and it will give you that radius that you want. So I just swung it across 3 times, got my radius, or it's actually 4 times, 2 inside, 2 outside, and then once I got what I wanted, I cut it out. Take a look at this. Those 2 brackets are in, and on this side we got the pivot bracket on, mounted to the power steering, and then a bolt right above the header, or I'm sorry, a bracket coming off the header all the way up. Alternator is set. It can still go higher, it can obviously go lower quite a bit. So hopefully I never need to put power steering fluid in, because I have officially blocked that option. We have winch line in. She's coming out as supposed to, and then hits the roller, comes down. Now you see this red section here, and you're like, why is it red? And then why does it go to brown or black right here? Well, this is actually a really interesting concept. So if you don't know, I'm gonna mansplain some things for you. On a winch, you really don't want to go past 3 wraps on the barrel. So you have the winch line bolts to the barrel, and then it wraps around the barrel. And you don't really want to go under 3 wraps, because as you pull stuff, it clamps down on the barrel, it kind of squeezes it tight, and that's what gives it the strength to grip and continue to pull things in. Well, Badlands, or I'm not sure if this line is Badlands, I would imagine it is because they make it, but check this out. Badlands, on the last wrap, it goes to red. So it goes red right here. So you have normal braided line all the way out, and then it goes to a red line, and it's on your last wrap of the barrel. So, which is nice because I can take this line and pretty much get it to be like right here. Watch, check this out. I can pretty much get the red line to be like somewhere like that, and then there would be maybe 4 to 5 wraps of line on that, and I wouldn't be pulling the connection through the pulleys and whatnot.